But I think that's going to be very, very helpful. Here's the other thing. Where are our guidance counselors in high schools?
You fired them.
Who were
Good
they
question.
talking to?
I think
and
we're finding
I think
when
that
it comes
they
to
need
these
to be
counselors,
totally informed, and I think they need to look at the cost of education.
you're cutting the number of counselors in these schools at the same time.
Well, the counselors that are doing their job.
All right, check out this exchange between Linda McMahon and Dick Durbin.
Thanks, Madam Chair, and welcome, Madam Secretary. Since you're the Secretary of Education, I think it's maybe appropriate that we start questioning with a pop quiz. Are you ready?
I never have liked pop quizzes.
I never have either, but I'm going to give you the answers ahead of time. The answers are 8 and 30. 8 and 30. Remember those two numbers. What percentage of high school students in America attend for-profit colleges and universities?
8%.
8%, perfect. What percentage of student loan defaults in America come from students in for-profit colleges and universities?
Must be 30.
It is.
Who the hell told Linda to answer that? Even if he's correct, Linda, you got to know how to play this game. You do not answer the question directly. He already gave you the answer that he wants to hear. So now you've already lost that battle. You got to push back. Come with your own facts. He's not understanding how the data is being spread out to get him to the 8 and 30 number.
Great. You just aced the test. But the problem is that the difficulty students face becomes a lifetime problem. Imagine, if you will, first-generation college student trying to pick a place to go to school, inundated in high school with glossy brochures for-profit colleges and universities which promise the sun, the moon, and the stars. The student goes and learns that there are Pell Grants available through for-profit colleges and universities. They hear the promises that if they just attend this school and graduate, there's going to be a good paying job at the end of the rainbow.
Hey, just to make sure that we're all on the same note, I will rewind it back so we can continue on where we left off. But I just want to give a couple of examples of for-profit colleges, because that's the nature of the conversation that they're talking about. You remember this commercial?
You're sitting on the couch, you're watching TV, and your life is passing you by. You keep procrastinating over and over. Well, maybe I'll go to school next year, maybe next semester. No, do it right now. They'll work with you after work, or you can go before work. You can do whatever you need to do to graduate. Go talk to somebody right now. They out to help you. You spend all day on the phone anyhow. Why don't you make a phone call that's going to help you in your future? All you got to do is pick up the phone and make the call. Why are you making it complicated?
That's easily one of the best commercials of all time, and it cost them like $5 to make. A few examples of for-profit colleges that you might have heard of: ITT Technical Institute, DeVry University, Berkeley College, and then there's this one.
Now, Donald Trump brings his years of experience to the world of business education with the launch of Trump University.
If you're going to achieve anything, you have to take action. And action is what Trump University is all about. But action is just a small part of Trump University. Trump University is about knowledge, about a lot of different things. Above all, it's about how to become successful.
You get the point. One thing about these schools is they normally prey on people that are vulnerable. They might not have the finances, the education, or even the time. So they try to get you in a predicament to where if it's the time you don't have, fine, we'll work with you morning or night. If you work a morning job, no problem. You should be able to sacrifice and come to school at night. If you have kids, do the course online. And if it's the finances you don't have, don't worry. You could be paying for this course for the next 20 years. We'll just give you small payments to make, but you'll pay for it for the next 20 years. And oftentimes what happens is people can't really afford to pay back their student tuition, so they normally just default on it. Hence, the number 30. On top of which, they always make some kind of grand promise that after you finish this school, 95% of our students all go into their field immediately after school. So you have the life that you're living right now. You see that you're not really in the circumstance that you want. And then now you have this school that's promising you the moon, the sun, the stars, everything. They tell you if you just come to this school, you're almost guaranteed a job.
But the problem is that the difficulty students face becomes a lifetime problem. Imagine, if you will, first-generation college student trying to pick a place to go to school, inundated in high school with glossy brochures for-profit colleges and universities which promise the sun, the moon, and the stars. The student goes and learns that there are Pell Grants available through for-profit colleges and universities. They hear the promises that if they just attend this school and graduate, there's going to be a good paying job at the end of the rainbow. And it turns out it's all phony. Over and over again, these students are being deluded and deceived. there's much more scam than there is scholarship. There's more hype than there is higher education. So most of them, or at least 30% of them, end up with loans they can't pay back. They never see that job that was promised to them. But they've got one last place to turn to try to get their lives back on track. I've met a lot of these students. Have you met any of them?
I have.
I have seen their stories and heard their stories from them, living in their parents' basement because of student loan debt and no college diploma, or a worthless one from some for-profit colleges and universities. You have a department within the Department of Education for borrower defense. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell me what you understand the borrower defense law to promise?
Well, first of all, I'd like to address how we started the conversation, not the percentages. But this is an issue, sir, that is, I think you well know, is not just relative to for-profit universities. We have many of our universities today that are promising degrees and jobs which are not being fulfilled, even those from very prestigious and elite universities. The cost of college today is so incredibly high that we have many students who are graduating thinking that they were going to have a job, that they'd be able to repay their loan. But the cost of those loans are so high that even if they get that job, it may not, over the course of their lifetime, would be able to repay that loan. So one of the things that we have proposed, and looking at our FAFSA application forms, is providing information even on FAFSA that would indicate to a student who is applying for a student loan, hey, take a look at this. This is the college you're going to. This is the job that you want, and this is about how much money this job can pay. And is this college the right place for you? Or are these courses the right place for you to take? So let's give up front a little more information so that they actually have an understanding of what their opportunity in the marketplace can be.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I want to
FAFSA, of course, being the free application for federal student aid.
So that they actually have an understanding of what their opportunity in the marketplace can be.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I want to reclaim my time since it's very limited. The point that I'm making is there is one brand of college and university that is particularly egregious when it comes to deceiving these students. It's for-profit colleges and universities. 8% of high school grads, 30% of student loan defaults in that category alone. It stands out from all the rest. The point I'm getting to is you're hollowing out the borrower defense agency within your own department. This is supposed to be the rescue for these students to finally get back on track and maybe go to a good school one way or the other. Why would you hollow out the resources there and the people that are enforcing the borrower defense rule when we have these terrible numbers of exploitation of students?
Well, and my point is that we shouldn't just focus on those schools. I do know that I totally agree with you. There are some scam universities out there.
Well, why would you hollow out the people who are supposed to enforce it?
Because I think we're putting other measures in place, but the scam...
Give me an idea what you're putting in place that's better than the borrower defense rule.
Well, we just talked a little bit about FAFSA. It's the education up front so that...
I'm talking about the victims, the ones who are already victims. They're in debt by tens of thousands of dollars. They're living in their parents' basement. They have no place to turn. And you're telling me the FAFSA form application is going to help them? How can it help them?
And that's not in place yet, but I think that's going to be very, very helpful. Here's the other thing. Where are our guidance counselors in high schools?
You fired them.
Who were
Good
they
question.
talking to?
I think we're finding...
I think that they need to be totally informed, and I think they need to look at the cost of education.
You're cutting the number of counselors in these schools at the same time.
Well, the counselors that are doing their jobs can provide information to these
There aren't
students.
enough of them. That's the point I'm making, and the situation is terrible for these students. First-generation students who are being exploited by these schools, they need your protection. They need our protection. They deserve it. They're doing the right thing. And unfortunately, you're reducing the number of people to enforce the law. I yield, Madam Chair.
All right, just wanted to go over that one with y'all. Whatever your thoughts are, leave them in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, and I will see you again on the next one. Be easy, y'all.